We try for daily movers.
Hey, Hilda here. I bring you experts, experiences, and epic adventures to boost your health. Recently, I went to the Homesteaders of America conference. I am not a homesteader. I live in the city. I do the best I can, but I knew there was a lot I could learn from folks like Eustace Conway and Justin Rhodes, even Joel and Daniel Salatin. So check out this video of my experience and even the little time I had chatting with Daniel one-on-one. It is day 2 at the conference, and it is so wonderful. You guys, there's something about this that really is feeding my soul. To be with people who are so close to the earth, who are nurturing it, feeding themselves and their communities. It's beautiful. This is naturally dyed yarn. Oh, beautiful. Love it. That's with hibiscus, and this is with black walnut. Oh my gosh. Could anything be more beautiful? And honestly, I have to stop sometimes and tell myself, Hilda, it's okay that you don't have a pig. It's okay that you don't have a chicken. I don't have any of those things, but I grow something else. I grow myself as a person and understanding and appreciating where my food comes from. And hopefully I'm growing you too and helping you to find a better connection to your food sources and to nature, because it is just wonderful. There are some little goats here, some alpacas, the whole shebang. I'll show you.
It's all the rage, but it's in my blood, it's what I know, how I was raised. Man, this is who I am. A faded jean, farmer tan, work boots, callous tan, redneck, blue collar, hard.
Thanks for taking a second.
Sure.
At this busy Homesteaders of America.
It's been crazy.
Well, and you were talking about teamwork today. Talk to me about why that matters, whether you're a homesteader or not.
Well, we're designed to be social creatures, right? And so being by yourself is not the norm. And so that's one of the bad things about, you know, where we are in culture right now, is being isolated, being restricted to your homes, being told not to interact with people. And it's why we're seeing a lot of problems in people, mental health, like things like that, because we're not designed to be that way. So whether you're homesteading and trying to be self-sufficient or trying to be part of a huge team, you need people around you. And so to me, you're always going to want to be better at interacting with people, interacting with team dynamics, and figuring out how to plug people in different settings, different jobs, different roles that they're going to excel at, and that you can work together in harmony. And that's really, really important. And so I think that's part of it, yeah.
And usually later in the day, if we need to, we'll drink that milk. Usually I already have some milk that we're drinking from the previous day, but it just depends. And so there you have it.
It's funny to think, just now I was talking to someone about FFA, the Future Farmers of America, and I remember at my high school, there was a Future Farmers of America group, and I was like, who in the heck would want to be a farmer? And look at me now at this place where I'm surrounded by homesteaders, people, again, making food for themselves, their families, and their communities. And I know now how much we need our farmers.
The tomato blossom in lot affection Monsanto neighbors tomatoes. May the coyotes be struck blind as you pasture chickens. May all of your culinary experiments be delectably palatable. May the rain fall gently on your fields, the wind be always at your back, your children rise and call you blessed, and may we all make our nest a better place than we here.
So you guys, I'm with Lorraine Contreras, and she's from Sow the Land. And she was just telling me about, it was her husband's diagnosis with cancer that really turned their world around. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, Jason was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma about 12 years ago, and that really kickstarted our journey into discovering like the long-term journey of like how can we heal ourselves, but not just a quick fix, but long-term goals. Like it's not just you know, how can we heal really quickly and then hope that it never comes back?
Yes, which is most people's attitude with cancer. It's like, well, I hope I go into remission, but even then it might come back around.
Right, or like, let's just get this chemo over with and then I'm in remission.
Right.
But there's still like that fear of like, could it come back?
Yes.
We wanted long term. Like, what can we do? Our lifestyle has to change. Our nutrition has to change. The products we use, we changed completely. And so,
And you guys, they only have 1.5 acres. Tell us all the things you're doing on there.
we have 1.5 acres. We have 2 pigs. We raised 140 meat birds this year, and we have egg layers. We have a garden and a greenhouse.
Oh my gosh, on 1.5 acres. Then you have this apothecary stuff.
I do have my own apothecary line. It's all natural, organic ingredients.
Beautiful. Like, so you're really trying to heal on all the levels.
All the levels, and stay healthy and just live a healthy lifestyle. And we hope that we can encourage other people to live that as well.
Leading from the rear, right? Learning how to lead your team, lead a team, not through power and authority, but through influence and through communicating up the chain of command in a way that's respectful. So, you know, it takes a lot more tact, respect, and skill to lead up the chain of command than to lead down. And so you can be put in a place of authority just because people assigned you, and you can be like, hey, I'm the boss, I'm in charge. But maybe you're not a very good leader. But you can be a great leader and lead from the bottom and have influence over not only your team, but even the leader in the right way. And I'm not talking about going behind their back. I'm not talking about mutinies. I'm not talking about being conniving and, you know, snakes in the grass. But what I'm talking about is being a respectful, setting the tone for a team, even though you're not the leader. You know, and so taking that personal responsibility, no matter what level you are in the team, is always important.
And eventually, I think a person like that, a person of character, gets noticed and has influence,
Yes.
whether or not they are ever ascended to a position of more power, let's say, right?
Yep, absolutely. One of my favorite movies is Gladiator, right? So some people might disagree with watching that film, and I totally respect that. But watching that film, showing how that individual, you know, Maximus, moves through the different settings and always becomes a leader. Obviously, Joseph in the scriptures was always a leader, even though he was the youngest, even though he was in prison.
He was in prison, that's
He was
right.
a leader. And so you think about people like that who've been gifted with leadership, or who are purposely focused on being a good leader, will lead wherever they are. And so that's something to just always take into account. And you're right, they will rise, they will get, maybe not in this world, but they will get rewarded for that job well done.
Eventually, that light can't be hidden under a bushel.
That's right. That's right. They're always going to get to the point where, even if it's not through the leadership, if you're a good leader, you will appreciate the respect and admiration of your team, even if the leaders don't. You know, and so if you're leading from the back, appreciate the fact that your fellow laborers, if you will, people that you see every day, maybe not the management, maybe not the big boss, doesn't see it, but if they see it, that should be enough.
Right.
And that you can build yourself rewards and personal victories, if you will, just getting respect from your team, not necessarily your superiors.
I love that so much. Now let's talk to the mom who
Sure.
feels like maybe my team are my kids, or
Yeah.
I don't even know how to create a team atmosphere in my home. Do you have any advice for that?
Well,
Mom?
I think that's where the team, where my good friend Grant talks about the outer team. Like, there might be a team that you have involved that's not even people that you see every day. For example, like if you come to an event like this, you might make a connection with somebody out of state that's part of your team. You might find your encouragement in a YouTube channel, and you're like, okay, to face this day and to do it, I gotta watch my Justin Rhodes this morning. You know, I don't know, and that builds that greater community and that outer team. Now, that's kind of an abstract answer. There's certainly ways to build that within your community. Certainly, if your family, seeing your child succeed in a small task and knowing that you showed them that and you taught them that and getting the rewards from that is certainly all part of that team dynamic. But I think realizing that it doesn't have to be this, when people think I got to lead a team, they think of like a military setting or like a big corporate 50 employee setting, and it's not necessarily either of those. It can literally be, as you said, a mom leading her kids, a dad leading his kids, a single person connecting with someone in another state online, and they have kind of an accountability partner and, you know, a cheerleader, if you will, to get them going and keep them moving forward in the right way.
So lastly, how can we develop the character of a good leader so that we can lead well, whether or not anyone notices?
Wow, well, that's the interpersonal stuff that great people are made of. You know, those are the great things. Certainly, self-evaluation and self-taught is really important. So you have to keep learning, right? So, you know, whether it's through the scripture, whether it's through influential people. I mean, I mentioned Extreme Ownership already. That's a book that has been very helpful to me. There are other leadership books out there. I mean, there's pastors that have good books. There's and even leadership books that you don't think. Of course, Stephen Covey is a very popular one. But, you know, those type of continued education, whether you're 15, 25, or 55, are all great leader influences that you should continue to use. And build your craft. You know, if just like learning how to woodwork or butcher chickens is a craft and you have to work on it, leadership is a craft. And if you don't work on it, you're not going to get better at it.
And you know what I've noticed about every single person here at every single exhibiting table and speaker, there's a sense of humility and of an eagerness to grow and learn, and I think that's really an important characteristic too, which is what you're alluding to.
Of course. I mean, any leader who thinks they've arrived is already a bad leader. And so if you're learning something or doing something, you know, you have, if you're leading, you have to continue to learn. And so yeah, and that's part of that humility. And so the dichotomy of leadership is to be humble enough to accept criticism, but confident enough to lead even when you're not sure.
Right, and even when you will get criticism that may be unfounded.
Right, absolutely. And so realizing that in Extreme Ownership, there's a dichotomy of leadership. You know, a leader must be brave but not foolhardy, right? A leader must be humble but willing to lead no matter what in the face of adversity. And it goes on, I don't remember them all, but that dichotomy, realizing that balance, again, creating balance, nothing in extreme, is what makes a great leader. And so those things, exactly, being able to take criticism from above and below, you know, they're both valid. And if you're not willing to listen to either one, or one or the other, it can lead to real problems. So yeah, continued growth, humility, the dichotomy of all that is really important.
Well, thanks for taking like a little bit of time with me.
My pleasure, Hilda. Always a joy to chat with you. Always great to see you and the people out there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. It's great.
Thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. Subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and click on the notification bell so you can be alerted the next time I upload a video. We'll talk soon. Hasta pronto.